She asked for my forgiveness. Marriage is supposed to be a place of comfort, a shelter from the storms outside. But for me, home became the storm itself. It started slowly, like cracks in glass, subtle, quiet, invisible until it shattered completely. For weeks, I could feel something was off with my wife, Lily. She was distant, distracted, and her smile, once so natural, had turned mechanical. I blamed stress, maybe exhaustion from work. I told myself love could fix it. But that illusion ended the night she said the words I'll never forget. It was a quiet evening. I came home early, hoping to surprise her with dinner and a movie. She was in the living room, scrolling on her phone, wearing the same blank expression I'd grown used to. I leaned down to hug her from behind, whispering, "Hey, love, missed you." Without even looking up, she shrugged me off and said coldly, "Don't touch me." I froze, thinking I'd misheard. "What?" I asked softly. She finally looked at me, her eyes sharp and distant. "I said don't touch me, James. I'm not in the mood." Something about her tone sliced through me. It wasn't irritation. It was disgust. I stepped back, my chest tightening. Did I do something wrong? I asked, trying to understand. She sighed, annoyed, like I was a burden. "You're just too much sometimes. Can we not do this right now?" I nodded silently and went upstairs, the sound of her scrolling echoing in my head. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every memory of us, the laughter, the late-night talks, the vows, replayed in my mind, now tainted with that single phrase, "Don't touch me." The next morning, she acted normal, like nothing happened. She kissed my cheek before I left for work, saying, "Have a good day, babe." I wanted to believe it was a momentary lapse, but the seed of doubt had already rooted deep. That afternoon, while I was in a meeting, a strange message popped up on my phone, an unknown number with a photo attached. Against my better judgment, I opened it. The image made my stomach drop. Lily, in our living room, laughing with another man. His arm was around her waist. The message read, "Thought you should know what she's been doing while you're working late." My hands trembled as I scrolled. There were more pictures, dinners, hugs, even a kiss. The last one was taken last night. My heart pounded so loud it drowned out everything else. Suddenly, her "don't touch me" made perfect, horrifying sense. I left work early, my thoughts spinning like a hurricane. I didn't confront her immediately. I needed to be sure. I called my friend Marcus, a private investigator who'd helped me once before. "I need you to look into someone," I said quietly. "My wife." That night, I pretended everything was fine. We ate dinner together, watched TV, and even laughed at a joke she made. But behind my calm smile, I was memorizing every gesture, every look, wondering how long it had all been fake. 2 days later, Marcus called. His voice was grim. "James, I'm sending you the file. You might want to sit down before opening it." I did. And when I saw the photos, there was no denying it anymore. She was having an affair. The man was her coworker, Daniel, the same guy she'd once called harmless. They'd been seeing each other for months. Hotel rooms, weekend work trips, and text logs that made me sick to my stomach. I didn't rage. I didn't cry. Something inside me went cold, calm, methodical. If she wanted to betray me, fine, but she was going to see what it meant to lose me. That evening, when she came home, I greeted her with a smile. "Hey," I said casually, "you doing okay?" She smiled back, oblivious. "Yeah, just tired. Can we just order takeout tonight?" "Sure," I said. "By the way, my boss invited us to a dinner party tomorrow night. Should be fun." She hesitated. "Tomorrow?" "Yeah," I said. "You'll love it. Everyone's bringing their partners." She didn't know I'd arranged a small gathering, not for my colleagues, but for our closest friends and family. The next evening, our house was filled with laughter, the smell of food, and the sound of conversation. Lily was glowing, playing the perfect wife, holding my arm like nothing was wrong. And then I stood up, raised my glass, and said, "Before we eat, I'd like to thank my wife, Lily. She's been such a devoted partner, always keeping herself busy while I work late." "Right, honey." She blinked, smiling awkwardly. "James, she said softly, trying to play along. I nodded, pretending to toast. You know, it's amazing how she balances everything. Her job, her social life, her private meetings with Daniel from accounting. The room went dead silent. Lily's smile vanished, her face pale. Someone gasped. James, what are you? I interrupted, holding up my phone. Maybe Daniel can join us next time. I'm sure he'd love to see these. I tapped the screen, showing the photos. Gasps filled the room again. Lily's hands shook as tears welled in her eyes. James, please, not here, she whispered. No, I said calmly. Then where, Lily? In another hotel room? In our bed. She broke down, sobbing, but I felt nothing. The people who once adored her now looked at her with pity and disgust. I walked out before she could say another word. The next morning, she came to my apartment, eyes swollen, voice trembling. James, I made a mistake, she cried. Please forgive me. I was lost, I was stupid, I didn't mean to hurt you. I looked at her, remembering the night she recoiled from my touch like I was poison. You said, don't touch me, remember? I said quietly. You made it clear what I meant to you. She reached out for me, but I stepped back. You wanted space, Lily. Now you have it. I closed the door, her sobs echoing in the hall. That day, I deleted every photo, every memory, every trace of her from my life. I wasn't bitter, just done. Months later, I heard she'd been fired after Daniel's wife exposed them at work. I didn't gloat. I didn't care. I'd already moved on, a new apartment, a new start, and a peace I hadn't felt in years. Sometimes I still remember that night. Her cold words, the pain that followed. But now, they remind me of something important. Love given to the wrong person isn't love lost, it's freedom gained. And when I think of her now, I smile. Not in anger, but in gratitude. Because the day she said, don't touch me, was the day I finally learned how to let go. Would you like me to make a part 2 where she tries to come back months later, only to discover he's found someone new?